Alright guys, we got the old CR250 in my actual forge, my blacksmith shop. We're going to do a little maintenance here, or a little modification. What I'm getting ready to do is I'm going to jack it up so I can get access to the back. And my goal is going to be to swap out this 40-tooth rear sprocket with a 42-tooth rear sprocket. If everything goes according to plan, that is. So stay tuned. More to come. We got a little mascot kitty in here saying hi. This is my setup here. Alright guys, so let me show you what we're up against. So I've got the gear, the biking gear, 17 millimeter closed end wrench I'm going to put on the back here, like that. Got the Allen wrench in here, get it good and seated. Okay, these are really tough, but once you break the whatever they have them locked with, they come off pretty easily. So you go like this, and that's it. Okay. So I'm going to go around and do that on all of them. Actually, now I'm going to take the tire off now that I have them loose. So stay tuned, okay? This is that. Alright guys, so I got the sprocket bolts loose. Got the main axle nut off. What I've done now is just loosen the lock bolt on the lock nut on the chain adjuster. And then I'm going to just turn the actual, this one goes the opposite way. Turn the actual one in. So the locking nut is 12 millimeter. The adjusting one is a 10 millimeter. And what you want to do now is we're going to try to get these in as far as we can to allow us to slide the tire forward, bring the chain off of the sprocket, and then pull it out. Okay, so we're bringing this on off of here now. You got these spacers you got to make sure you don't mess up or lose, I guess, more than anything. What I typically do after I get it apart is just slide all the components together, and then I know where it's at when I'm done, and it's time to put this baby back together. Okay, I'm going to set them all over here on my bench there. Get some of this grease off my hands. So now we got this off. We already have loosened it, so we're going to make sure we got a good match for the sprocket as far as bolt. I already pre-measured it, but let's just make sure before we go any further. I did as best I could while it was still on the bike, but it'll be a lot easier now off. So what I'm going to do here is, all right, here we have our tire sitting up here with the old sprocket. Let me get this new one I purchased, hopefully the right one, out. And take a look and see how it looks for fit. And if it looks good, we'll go ahead and assemble. If not, we'll put the bike back together and be done for now, or order a new one. I think I got this off, oh, I can't remember if it was CRF, I don't remember. Anyhow, should be the right one. This tape I used on here sucks. Actually, from a tape perspective, it does good. Okay, so that's what we're looking at difference-wise. So, okay, but it's a match there. So we're going to finish taking off the sprocket here, which is real straightforward now because I got all the bolts loosened. Let me grab my Allen wrench and 17 millimeter again. Should be pretty straightforward here. And key with these, obviously, when you put it back together, is going to be to use enough Loctite, because these are not something you want coming off while you're driving your bike. Okay? And so we do have a washer on the back side. Let me just make sure, yeah, the seat's in there perfect. So, okay. There's one. Yeah, they definitely are Loctite it on there. Jeez, yeah, my fingers will work here. So I do recommend, and I had watched a couple, not watched a video, but read a few blog or forum posts, and definitely the recommendation to break these nuts free while the tire was still on the bike was the appropriate thing, because I couldn't imagine trying to wrestle this thing around. Oh, I seem to not have my, oh, there it is. I couldn't imagine trying to wrestle this thing around off the bike to get these. These babies had some serious torque on them, and I have to look up the torque before I put it back together, because I did read it somewhere, and I just can't remember what it was. But to make sure I torque it appropriately. Get these last two. Some people, from what I read, have actually destroyed these bolts doing this and had to order new bolts. And I almost did in advance, thinking, you know, knowing my luck, that's what I would do. But I got lucky so far, anyhow. All right, so here's our sprocket coming off. As I can tell by the feel, is a steel sprocket. This is the stock 40-tooth one. So let me just clean this up a little bit here, and then we'll get the new one setting in place. I have a magic solvent I use in my workshop for basically everything. That would be MEK, methyl ethyl ketone. Very expensive, 35 bucks a gallon. But when it comes to getting shit off of shit, you can't beat this stuff. I mean, it's just it's a miracle stuff. I use it all the time as a general degreaser when I'm working in the shop when I make knives. Before I want to do any etching or anything, it's my best thing I can use to make sure we have no grease. Okay, now the other thing about this, they say it's so highly carcinogenous. Carcinogenous. Is that right? Carcinogenous. You don't want to be getting that shit on your hands if you can avoid it. Okay, sprockets in place. We're going to get my Loctite I have sitting over there, and stay tuned. All right, so I got a thread locker on all of these. I'm going to just get them kind of tightened down so they're snug right now. I don't know if it's necessary to alternate the pattern like I'm doing, but it's just been something I've always done on anything that's circular that I'm tightening down, so, or, you know, needs an even torque. It is an aluminum sprocket. You would think you don't want to put it on with stress on one bolt and not the same amount on the other, so anyhow, let's get this in here. Then we're gonna, then I'll torque them to final torque setting. Alrighty, so got the new sprocket on. I really should take time to clean up this rim, but screw it. We're gonna put this baby together, and I don't know if we'll get to try it. There's a winter storm moving in, and it's kind of slushing or sleeting out there, and I don't think it'd be safe to go out today, but who knows? I've done dumber things. All right, so wheel back in. Now we're hoping we can get a good fit with our existing chain. So people I've listened to or read about online have been able to. So I'm hoping for the same luck, but my luck doesn't always go that way. So my luck. I'm gonna put some brakes on here soon too. Okay, So, chain. Oh, I do want to take a second and what's my thing here? Bring these chain tensioners. I think you want to bring them in a ways, because the one thing that is certain here is your chain is going to be under some more. The drive length is going to be longer by going to this bigger sprocket. So we're going to want to. I should get my finger on there. We're going to want to go in and get that in as far as we can, so hopefully the chain will hop right over the sprocket without issue. Definitely had some wear on that steel one I took off, the original 40-toother. And, you know, the right thing is to replace your chain and sprockets at the same time. So I'm not quite going by what they say is the correct thing here. But this is still kind of a trial for me. I mean, worst thing I'm going to do is eat up a chain or a sprocket. So what I'm going to do is I'll put it together. Let's see if I like it. That's the main thought here. And if I like it, then I will. Oops. Remember, on an axle, force is never appropriate. Okay, so once you get it like this, you're pretty good. We're gonna like that, and I'm gonna come down a little bit here. I see. That's not good. Okay, we got that in. Let's go ahead and try to get our sprocket on, or our chain on. So we're good now. I always go around and double check your calipers in its seating groove. Got this where it needs to be. Well, we don't actually. I gotta pull that in some more, but almost. There you go. That goes there. Okay, so now we're gonna go about the tightening process. I want to make sure. I was told I'd have enough clearance there, so it looks like I do. So we are good. Okay, let's get these in more. I can see that one's gonna have to go in a lot more. All right, stay. So basically, I'm just bringing in the chain adjustment screw further because, you know, the setup, the actual final drive length changes with the bigger 42-tooth sprocket. So that's what we're kind of working on right now, so we can get my chain adjuster block in place. Okay. So this kind of stuff is just busy work, but it is necessary. Still got to go in a little more. I can almost get it. It's gonna be snug, but it's definitely gonna work. Sounds like it's turning to frozen rain out there. I can hear it. It's one of the nice things about a shop like we have here is that even in this kind of crappy weather here we're having in Western New York, even with this, I can work on my bike and stay comfortable. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is get this, and I got to go bring the tightener in on the other side. I can tell it's already, just by looking at how much this one's going to be in. So, I am on my sprocket there, right? Yep. Okay. Good. Oh, and we'll lube this baby up really good when we're done here, too. Alright, let's see what we got. I did end up hitting these both with a little white grease, which I'll clean up afterwards. Just made moving this thing a lot easier because it was fighting me a little bit here. Alright, so we got our tire back on. We got our sprocket, our chain tension tighten. This is the hard part. I'm going to start switching this baby. See, it tightened up a little tighter than I want, didn't it? Might bring it in just a hair now that I see this, so I don't want to put too much stress on this brand new sprocket here. Ah, my knees are killing me. Gotta loosen this so I can bring this in a little more. We're going to go ahead and back this guy out. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Double check some sprocket measurements. Okay, we're nice and aligned, so let's go ahead and torque this wheel back down, the wheel axle bolt. Good. Okay, now the final thing is just to get the chain tensioner seated, and then we'll lube it up and we should be done. Okay, there you have it, guys. That's a sprocket change. It's a 42 tooth. We got rear brakes still. Yep. Got rear brakes. My winch cable fell and broke and landed on this little shield, but not really too worried about it because I'm going to be going to the FMF exhaust, and this piece gets eliminated. You just keep that one. So So there you have it, sprocket change.